Welcome to a new episode of the Cinema Snob, where we're taking a look at a Hollywood movie that's so what the fuck that it's radioactive. You might be asking yourself, what qualifies the 1956 film The Conqueror as being an example of what the fuck, Hollywood? Well, it stars John Wayne as Genghis Khan. The movie was produced by Howard Hughes, who, after the movie's release, bought up every single copy of the film and watched it endlessly until its 1974 TV debut. And it was filmed downwind from a nuclear testing site that gave many of the cast and crew members cancer over the years. So, I'm sorry, do I need to go on? Because seriously, what the fuck? The film is often regarded as a notorious bomb, even though it did eventually turn in a profit, and was the 11th most successful film of the year, but at the same time it turns up in multiple lists of the worst films ever made, popping up in Michael Medved's book, The Hollywood Hall of Shame. I know. Your first instinct is to do everything that's the opposite of what Michael Medved says, and that's a pretty good instinct. Plus, there was even a nod to it in the official Razzie Movie Guide. I actually watched the movies? I just thought they always went with whatever was popular to hate. But is The Conqueror the colossal fuck-up that legend has told us throughout the years? Yeah, it is. End of episode. I'm just kidding. Let's have some fun. You'll have to excuse me. I'm not used to seeing RKO radio pictures without Tim Curry dancing in front of it. And it's filmed in CinemaScope, an old technique used to make white actors look Asian. With Howard Hughes producing, you know he rid the set of any and all harmful bacterias and air. Too soon? I hope not, because I don't want to go to hell too terribly fast. The credits are very, very big, as to say, no, seriously, it's fucking John Wayne playing a Mongolian. Don't believe us? We also got Susan Hayward as a Tartar princess. If you're upset, it's okay. Look, this guy's name sounds foreign-y. He's in the movie, and Lee Van Cleef was the master ninja. That's almost Asian. Maybe Agnes Moorehead can use her witch powers on the audience so they won't know the difference. What's this? This story, though fiction, is based on fact. Oh, so the movie's fiction. Maybe at the beginning of Amityville Horror they should have wrote, this movie is fiction, but houses really exist. Plunder and rapine were a way of life. Rapine. Another word for looting, plundering, and war rape. It was a nice way of saying that this movie is about a guy who raped people. Our story begins with the delivery of the world's largest cupcake to appease the pharaoh, also a rapinist. Think of how many cocks we'd be seeing right now if this were Caligula. Hey, I'm totally outside now, you guys. This was back when the greatest stuntmen alive were horses. Say, she looks like Elizabeth Taylor. She must be Egyptian. Now, with the Fu Manchu mustache and the eyes, you might be wondering what John Wayne's voice is gonna sound like here, and many of you may be predicting this.
Kids, now you get Rickshaw Runner completely free inside every box of posterized crinkles. So.
That's so high. They call him that because he's only so high. You can't get mad at me, that was his actual catchphrase. Well, he doesn't quite sound like that. More like...
I share your taste in women, Targetai, but not in blood.
Yep, he sounds like John Wayne, only with broken English. So in other words, totally Mongolian.
Farewell, Tartar woman.
They call her Tartar woman, not because she's Eastern European or Northern Asian, but because she's white, like tartar sauce.
Would a Mongol dare touch Kumlek's daughter?
I'm not sure. Let me know when a Mongolian shows up. But I'm sure the more they keep talking, the more I'll totally keep buying this casting.
I feel this Tartar woman is for me. My blood says take her.
Okay, surely John Wayne couldn't have been their first choice here, and wouldn't you know it, actors Marlon Brando and Richard Burton were also considered for the role. Well, okay, those are technically better actors, I guess, but I think you're missing the point here. That's like coming out of The Jazz Singer and saying, hey, this would be less offensive if it were Bing Crosby in blackface. Temujin wants to claim Susan Hayward's Borta as his own, but first he needs to search the town for the Avatar and recruit his younger brother, who is turning into the Incredible Hulk. Great, that should have been their first tip-off that this set is radioactive. They're turning into superheroes! Now they're all ready for the attack.
Are you women that you tremble before a force half your number? You fear the Mercut's revenge, I seek it. Let him who shrinks from it say so and be gone.
Look, Duke, it's just that you look really ridiculous with that tape on your eyes. They're lucky they have this footage left over from the opening credits. That cuts their ambush time in half. Horses must be the most confused animals on the planet, because thanks to Hollywood epics, they must constantly be thinking that they've stepped into a time machine. You know, this is a pretty good action sequence until the characters start talking.
On, brave suitor, would you desert your bride unkissed?
That's the weird thing about this movie. While it is technically one of the Duke's worst, it is old school Hollywood ambition with a very large budget, so it's simultaneously one of his most well-made. But on the other hand, I don't think the soundtrack understands that no means no. Romantic?
You say well, Mongol. I am Botai, daughter of Kumlek, chief of all the Tatars.
No, you're not. And just when you think they can't say anything dumber, they say something dumber.
See to the sharing of the booty.
John Wayne just said that he wants to share booty. There are times when I love this job. This is one of those times. And oh my god, is that supposed to be his mother?
A fair prize, my son, if my eyes see well.
Fairer than you know, my mother.
Oh, fuck me, I have an easier time believing that this is Steve Martin's mother. The way the casting is, that's probably supposed to be a giraffe they're cooking. Whatever animal it was, it's nice that they donated its fur to John Wayne's head. That's the look of an actor who has no idea what she's singing about. But it's that time. He's gonna 50s movie rape her, which means he's gonna make her dance.
Know this, woman. I take you for a wife.
You don't sound Mongolian. You sound like a drunk man who forgot how pronouns work. Wait, I don't like this scene. It has slightly more appropriate actors in it.
Temujin did not think it mischief until I refused him. You I would not refuse, Jamuka.
I am tempted, woman.
I would be too. Pale red-headed Tartar women have all the fun. Oh shit, stay inside. They're filming a day for night sequence outside. That's very dangerous. This character dies when stabbed with a spear, but I'm sure the actor died when the horse fell on him. Thank God Temujin rescues her from being rescued. I'm used to seeing John Wayne ride off into the sunset, but not with the woman he's kidnapped. And again, I don't think the music knows the context of these scenes. The music is telling us from here to eternity, but the scene is showing us I spit on your grave. Moral is, when John Wayne forces a kiss on you, just go with it. Yes, that's right, John Wayne. They're all judging you. Take that shit off your face. Temujin's brother, Jamuga, approaches to let Temujin know of Borta's attempted escape.
And you stand with them? Where is your faith, my brother? I was to bring under my standard all the tribes of the Gobi. None would dare stand against me. Was not that once your dream for me, Jamuga?
Ever want to know what it would be like if C.W. McCall did Shakespeare? Well, everything about this movie is a weird sit, especially in that Temujin, though doing and saying very villainous things, is supposed to be the hero.
There is no limit to her perfidy.
She is a woman, Jamuga.
Hashtag feminist.
It is an omen, my son.
What woman's talk is this, my mother?
Hashtag super feminist. As I mentioned earlier, the entire set of the movie was contaminated by complete nuclear fallout. 91 of the 220 people who worked on the film developed some form of cancer over the next 20 years. And for reference, typically in a group that large, only about 30 people would normally get cancer during their life. And beyond that, they knew where they were filming. There are photos and video of the cast with a Geiger counter on set, laughing at the results. This has gone from what the fuck Hollywood to goddamn it 1950s. Sorry, was that a buzzkill? Back to the movie. Seriously, John? Don't drink that. Keep turning on your charm.
I have taken you for wife, Bortai.
Hashtag super duper feminist. Oh, seriously, this is Hollywood romanticizing history. Something romantic is bound to happen soon.
Were Wang younger and more nimble at dodging swords, I might give you to him and keep the furs. For they too are beautiful.
See, there you go. A very nice romantic scene showcasing John Wayne for the very charismatic actor that he is. Anyway, remember when ill-conceived movies like this were at least beautiful to look at? And now they look like my screensaver just crashed my computer. Here's the part where they visit the Gungan leader. Thanks, George. What is this? Bollywood Indiana Jones now? Only if that were the case, this would make up about half the movie's length. That's the Maharaja, Lady Gaga.
A woman of Samarkand. I recognize her by the,
I believe the word you're looking for is tits, Duke. Lady Borta decides to one-up her by doing what everyone does in the movies that I watch, making her vagina sing.
Oh, she likes to wake up in the morning to her cock-a-doodle-doo.
After this, Temujin demands she be sent off to the women's quarters, which, given that this was filmed in the 50s, I'm sure is still a kitchen. Meanwhile, the shaman comes in, who gives exactly the kind of stereotypical performance that I'm sure we expected out of the lead.
So grave a question demands a surer answer. Let a sheep be slaughtered, and the shoulder blade brought hither. The spirits shall speak.
Yes, thanks, Christopher Lee from Castle of Fu Manchu. Well, could have been worse. Could have been this. If the point of this movie was to make us forget about the existence of Big Jim McClane, I'd say they'd done their job. Forgive the shaman, it's not easy staring directly into the sun.
The rising sun never finds a servant of the heavens sleeping.
Thank you, Yoda. Any other wise sayings?
I would speak further, but
I've suddenly forgot how to speak English. Too bad it wasn't Hugh Grant or Keith David made up in yellowface. Then this movie would be genius.
I value your good wishes, Shaman, for all your doubt of my report last night.
God, every time he talks to someone, it sounds like he's asking Walter Brennan to fix him a batch of biscuits. And like every good leader, he abandons the fight to go chase his woman. I'm starting to think that this is now Turkish Indiana Jones, but then the Star Wars theme would be playing. I gotta say, I do respect that John Wayne wanted to do something different and go outside the box when choosing this role, But there is such a thing as going so far outside the box that you're approaching outer space. And wait a minute, was that William Conrad earlier? Well, anyway, Borta sends out her troops to capture Temujin, which they easily do, with John Wayne being led to the slaughter, who will be there to tell him that he truly was the King of Kings.
Behold, Tartars! I bring you Temujin, son of Yesugai!
That's not Temujin, you fool. You captured Big Jake. This, by the way, was Peter Sellers' most intimidating Asian character. And what in the hell is going on back there? Have they run out of white actors to where they're now using bears? Surely one guard and a preschool fence will hold him in. Or not. Here, let me cut that plastic off of you. You look tired. And according to the script, I'm supposed to be in love with you now. Disapprove. He better escape before the extras from Ilsa Harem Keeper of the Oil Sheiks catch him. Now's the time to flee this village of erect nipples. Shit. Again, very well-made movie. Probably among the most well-made I've ever done on this show. But then...
Lord, we believe you slain.
Death comes not easy to Temujin.
Neither do words, apparently. Temujin returns to his people, and I know there's a Big Jake and the Fat Man joke in here somewhere. Just gotta search a little harder. At this point, I don't even know what the hell they're talking about.
This you shall pay for tenfold. We march against the Tartar.
With Wang Khan?
With the legions of Wang Khan and the Mongol clans, I gather.
What folly do I hear?
We march against Kumlik.
Great, the script has just gone from broken English to pure word salad. Maybe Agnes Moorehead here can get revenge on the Tartar leader by turning him into a field mouse. Oh crap, the shaman just ate a handful of Sour Patch Kids. Give him a minute. If only Bruno Mattei did a version of this, I would have loved to have seen Temujin reincarnated as Nero.
Speak!
The slaves, their tongues have been cut out. Speak freely.
Yes, they can't speak, which means they can't hear. Now what's this giant secret?
I like not this tale of Temujin's miraculous escape. I catch the scent of treachery here.
Can you, Hashimoto, or are your senses just heightened because your eyes are taped shut? It's okay. Since it's a movie set, the bars can be propped open with a board. Or, you know, William Conrad's superhuman strength. Too bad his one weakness is a quick stab to the ass. Jamuga is captured, and since he gives one of the only competent performances in the movie, Temujin vows to get him back.
Spirits of heaven, Yesugai, my father, do not desert me in this fateful hour. Let not treachery prevail.
God damn it. He really does want this movie to work. But it so doesn't. Well, that's that. Guess I'll leave now, I suppose.
I bring you ill tidings, Temujin.
I'm actually from Bronxville.
There will be no siege and no battle. I myself will open the gates, and taken by surprise, the city will fall like a ripe plum.
Odd. This character would be just as realistic if he were played by Porky Pig.
Oh, excuse me, please. Not Charlie Chung detective. Charlie Chung laundryman. 'Tis a small matter of large bill.
The shaman attempts to get on Temujin's good graces by assassinating Wang Khan before Temujin can, but no dice. What? Who threw that? Whatever, I'll kill you now. And now Temujin is in charge here.
I, Temujin, chief of all Mongols. Those who oppose me shall be destroyed.
What? Sorry, why don't you turn down your microphone a bit? We're getting a lot of feedback here. But there's still the little matter of coming for Borda. Wait a minute, that's no horse cow. It's easy to rescue people when everything looks like it's only within a mile or two of each other.
No, Temujin, no!
Die, traitor, die.
Fuck, did he just miss me? Oh, well, that was weird. Temujin vows to avenge those who killed his father and brother, which leads to the final battle sequence and is sorta like the mudslide sequence from McClintock, only if the mud could kill you. After some literal horseplay, Temujin gets his vengeance. Oh, right, there's a knife there. Ouch. Jamuga informs his brother that he indeed was not trying to tap that Tartar ass, but he still leaves Temujin to rule his people while his spirit will watch over them.
Far greater conquest will be yours, Temujin, and men will call you Genghis Khan.
But after a while, they'll just start pronouncing it Genghis Khan. Thankfully, we have this final shot to show us that not all the horses were harmed in the making of this movie. This movie was bullshit. We all know that the real story of Genghis Khan went like this.
Want a Twinkie, Genghis Khan? Say please.
After being laughed off the screen in 1956, the movie and its rather horrible backstory was never forgotten. Insiders often referred to the movie as an RKO radioactive picture. Howard Hughes spent $12 million to buy up every copy of the film, and out of pure guilt went even more insane watching the movie on an almost nightly basis. Hell, even a nuclear scientist from the Pentagon responded with, "Please don't let us have killed John Wayne." I'm sure being a lifelong smoker of 6 packs a day didn't help much, but the man did still live to be in his 70s. Regardless, it is a very, very dark moment in filmmaking negligence, and the prime example of how miscasting can make your movie very popular, but for all the wrong reasons. John Wayne later said that the moral of the film was to never make an ass of yourself trying to play parts you're not suited for. Which is why, years and years on down the road, we came this close in the late 90s to another big-budget Genghis Khan epic, but this time, thankfully, starring an actor much more appropriate for the role, Steven Seagal. Wait, what? Seriously? That almost happened? Really? That was almost a thing? Why the fuck didn't that happen? Are you fucking kidding me? People in my line of work needed that film to happen. God damn it!
Eternal skies, Yesagai, my father, hear me. Summon the spirits of heaven to my aid. Send me men. Men!